Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today is October 4th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Dorian Johannick and Ben Jordan. Dorian is the business director and head of relationship development for Silo, and spreads his time between New Zealand, Asia, and USA. And Ben Jordan is the product director at Silo. Silo is building a decentralized information and communication platform. And we're excited to have them on the show today to talk about their app and their products. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angelo. How are you?
Great. Yeah, it's good to have you guys on, and I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Really good. Busy, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
So what are you guys spending your days working on a day-to-day at Silo?
Yeah, so we're heavily in the development cave, about to release our beta DApp very shortly to the public, which we're quite excited about. It's been a long road, but it's an exciting time with our main token event coming up in a couple of weeks, and then the release shortly after that, which is something we've been working on for quite a long time, and we're quite eager to get that in people's hands outside our alpha community.
So how many people are on your team now? And are you guys working all in an office, or are you a distributed team?
Yeah, so we're all based in Auckland, New Zealand in terms of the core development team, but we have a distributed network of advisors all around the world, where I think we just hit 20 now in terms of full-time team. So we're growing pretty quickly. Having said that, we have been around for a little while building technology in the peer-to-peer communication space. So we're a bit more of a developed operation than your traditional ICO startup style company.
So what is the history of Silo before embarking on this current product? Tell me a little bit about when it got started and and how it has developed.
Yeah, so our company has been around over 10 years now, but we've been building out confidential communication solutions for over half of that time. We originally set out to solve the problem of confidentiality by stripping out the middleman and creating peer-to-peer technology. And that's been the focus, and that is the lead technology in the current Silo products that we have in market. And it's been quite a graceful transition from focusing solely on peer-to-peer real-time communications tech into a fully distributed and decentralized communication network that other developers can use as well.
So there's currently an app in the App Store. And where does that fit into the product that you're currently developing?
So that app that's in the App Store is a product that utilizes our communication stack. It's a product that's found its niche with professionals who have a confidentiality mandate. So we've had quite a lot of pickup within the legal sectors and mental health, particularly around online real-time sessions. But yeah, that's a product that has a global user base of over 20,000 users now. And from a technical point of view, it's put us in a really, really strong position because we have a battle-worn product that we can push into the decentralized space, obviously integrating the blockchain from that solid base that we've already established.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe touch on a little bit about some of the clients that you have for your existing product. And if you want, maybe we could jump into that a little bit. So you said you have some legal clients and then healthcare clients, and do you just do like a white label, a custom solution? And what kind of requirements do those clients have that you guys have to meet in terms of confidentiality and other types of requirements?
Yeah, so we've actually built the product with an onboarding process based around general professionality. So it's not actually a custom approach for each different use case. So think of it like the current in-market product as a more secure form of a Skype, for example. We've got professionals like mental health practitioners, like lawyers, like financial advisors that practice pretty strict confidentiality in their offline life. And then when they're jumping online to do sessions, which is happening more and more, they want to have a solution that they know isn't kind of capturing all that sensitive information and communications data. And that's the level of confidence the product provides for them as we leverage peer-to-peer technology and encryption. But in terms of product adoption, they just pick up the product and use it as is with no customization. We had a few companies come in looking for specific white labeled solutions. We haven't specifically engaged any of those. We've just focused on plug and play adoption essentially. And since we've started moving into the fully decentralized application, we've kind of reduced focus on developing that out at the moment. So we've kind of just got a core maintained feature set on that application until we release the beta DApp later on this quarter.
Okay. And so I want to now get into the current product and the upcoming launch. But one more question before we change topics. So do you mind if I ask, what is the revenue model and how do you guys monetize that product, the prior product?
The revenue model is a traditional SaaS-based model, and we have a free tier for up to 10 clients, and thereafter you pay a monthly fee.
So how is Silo entering the blockchain and decentralized market? Tell me a little bit about the product. So it's a multifaceted product. Maybe you can give me a brief overview about the protocol, the directory, a lot of different features, the wallet, the decentralized storage, the chat widget. So it's just a full service communications tool for a decentralized ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of explaining it. We have two facets to our business now. One is a toolkit, which facilitates confidential and decentralized communication and storage for applications that require that in their development. And then the other side of our business is our consumer-facing, fully decentralized communication application. So Silo, the application, pulls together crypto payments and a cryptocurrency wallet. It has a place for you to communicate confidentially, and that could be with businesses or your friends. And it also has a marketplace of other decentralized applications. We're working with a number of businesses to integrate their applications into our connected application framework. And in doing that, the Silo application becomes the hub of that ecosystem. So it's a place where a single user can jump from functionality to functionality provided by a range of different businesses without having to go and set up a brand new account for each one.
So have you guys formalized any, I think Centerpay is one, we can talk a little bit about that in detail, but have you formalized any dApps, and what is the onboarding process? Or is that still something you guys haven't gotten to yet?
Yeah, so a key piece, we absolutely have, and we're well down that track already. So a key piece I should introduce here is that we've actually partnered with a company called Centerpay, which is probably the largest blockchain venture studio in the Southern Hemisphere. And they did their own very high-profile raise earlier on this year in January, and their mandate has been to work together to bring a community of decentralized applications and projects of high value together. And Silo is positioned to be the front end experience for all the companies that are coming through that ecosystem. So through that process, independently and through them, we're working with about a dozen projects at the moment to put together our initial suite of connected dApps. There's some pretty exciting projects in there, from a decentralized Uber to restaurant bookings to real world payments to an artificial intelligence company actually hailing out of the US as well that we're working with, among a few other projects. And the core piece for us on working with all these companies is that we want to bring an experience to the user's hand that's on par to mainstream services when it comes out. Because one of the big issues you're seeing at the moment with that adoption in particular is a real lack of usability and a real lack of real world value. You've got dApps to manage your digital assets and play around with them, but essentially nothing mainstream. So we're looking to bring a real front-end integrated experience, and we realize it's not about one company popping up and trying to take on the world. It's about collaboration, bringing in a dozen great projects from the get-go to put this experience in people's hands, and we're really headlining the front-end experience of that.
So if there are some of our listeners out there who are a lot of dApp developers and CEOs of blockchain companies, and if they wanted to get their application listed, or not listed, but their application added to the dApp directory on Silo, what would they need to do and what kind of screening process do you guys have?
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for at the moment. The way we're engaging the first few is that what we're looking for is essentially a project in every particular area to get the ball rolling for those first dozen. And then we're working on a relatively custom basis with these initial guys to make sure we deliver a really cool experience. And then we want to processize that so that we can start onboarding these other projects and dApps in a really succinct way that benefits them and us. So we would very much encourage any projects in the space that are interested in collaborating to just reach out to us. And at the moment, we're working on it on a case-by-case basis.
We are in the process of in-house using our connected application framework, which is due for a public release in Q1. So at that point in time, we see external developers being able to easily develop and integrate their functionalities within the ecosystem that we're building. A key part of what it is that we're creating from a business perspective is we're creating opportunities for developers and for decentralized businesses in general to expose their token models to a far greater user base. So whenever any users come into this ecosystem, they're actually exposing what it is that they're doing to every other user in the ecosystem in a way that allows all of the different token models to interact seamlessly with each other. So we see this as a great reason for developers to come on board, and there will be a hard transition from working with these more in-house companies or pre-established relationships into opening up the platform for many, many more developers to start building on it.
So there are some the blockchain space is rapidly growing with lots of new projects, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of companies holding ICOs and every day. And their types of decentralized applications range from transportation to finance to, all kinds of different market sectors. Will you be open to including any market sector and any decentralized application in the directory that you guys are launching?
The answer to that is yes. It's probably worth me going into a bit about the different experiences that we are focusing on initially. So we firmly believe that for decentralized applications to become a thing that people actually use, they need to provide new experiences, or they need to provide experiences that are better than what the centralized services are offering today. An example of one of the experiences that we're working very hard on achieving at the moment is the ability for you to be messaging your friends about a restaurant, let's say, and then from within the Silo application, you'd be able to book a table at that particular restaurant. You'd then be able to hop in a taxi that's arrived outside your door to take you to the restaurant, picking up your friend on the way. Then when you get to the restaurant, you might pre-order some food before you get there so that it's ready for when you arrive. And then when you get up and walk away, you don't actually have to pay at the terminal, or you don't even have to pull out your credit card, because you can just walk away to pay, which is the term we're using. And then after that, the restaurant has a means of communicating with you if you'd like, maybe about specials or just maybe a message to say thank you. And in that way, we create a seamless experience from woe to go, which actually changes the way businesses can interact with people in the real world, which we think is something that is absolutely crucial to making this decentralized future a reality.
So the app will support payments, so ability to pay at restaurants or any merchants through the application. So the merchants are onboarded onto the application of the ecosystem, and they can link their payment system with the app, and then people can pay through the app, and then you can purchase and spend the Silo tokens through online checkouts.
100%. And this is also a crucial part of our recent partnership that we announced with Centerpay as well. So they are very much focused on the payments piece, and that bridges fiat and crypto as well. So what it's going to do is create a seamless experience where just conducting these actions through fiat, but you can actually start utilizing your crypto. When we talk about crypto, it's ERC20 compliant crypto, not just specific Silo tokens. And that there obviously is a process, but they're working specifically with major terminal providers around the world to get that experience integrated.
So just give me a quick overview. For those of us who aren't familiar with Centerpay, I gather they're a payment processor. Can you kind of elaborate on what they do?
Yeah, so Centerpay we've partnered with mainly so that we can work together to provide new payment experiences. Centerpay is working very heavily in the real world space. So there are payment rails that connects to merchants in the real world as a means of facilitating exchange of value. Now that can be traditional exchange of value, that could in the future be crypto exchange of value as well. But their focus and the reason why we've become so heavily involved with them is because through what they're doing, they're really focusing on moving the payment experience forward. So the payment experience at the moment is so full of friction. I mean, it's a friction that we're all used to, but it's an unnecessary friction. And we think that we can work together to make payment something that just happens. It's not something you have to do, which is, pretty exciting from our point of view.
Yeah, that is very exciting because users will be able to use the silo tokens for a number of different things through the application. And so that includes integrating the silo token with the applications that are, on the platform or in the silo app. So there's a chat widget. So this is an address book with a directory of your friends and your contacts who are imported. And then you can chat with them. So do they need to also have the application installed? And so this is going to be like a widget, like similar to like WhatsApp or Telegram or like just a messaging app. But it's like sort of I guess you could call it like a feature rich. It's kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Google Allo. So you can like have an assistant that's built into the app and you can call the assistant in the middle of the conversation to perform or like research or that kind of thing.
Yeah, best example we could give is probably more like a decentralized WeChat. So it's yes, you've got the messaging components like a WhatsApp, but it's much more holistic. It incorporates many more aspects of your life. I'm not sure if you're familiar with WeChat or, because WeChat's obviously not as popular in the West, but throughout Asia, it's absolutely taking over. It's integrated into almost every aspect of people's lives.
Yeah, it's huge in Asia.
To messaging, to paying. So the positioning, is more for that.
We want people to pick up this application from a messaging point of view and not to feel like they're giving up anything in exchange for decentralization or privacy. So with our messaging infrastructure, obviously when you talk, because it is decentralized, there's no big company which is mopping up all that data, and the data actually remains yours, which is a great reason in itself just for using the messaging component. But again, we know that we have to do it in a way that doesn't mean that the user feels like they're having to sacrifice anything, which is why we've focused on making it so feature rich and, familiar.
Yeah, so maybe we should talk about the confidentiality component and the decentralized storage. So how does that work?
Yeah, so it works. Well, we've combined a range of technologies. So we've been working on the confidentiality problem for a long time now. And the way we originally solved that problem was by removing the middleman. So when you talk on silo, you're talking truly peer-to-peer. So it's end-to-end encrypted and peer-to-peer for all real-time communications. Now, what we've also done is we've fully decentralized the back-end architecture. So by combining technologies like IPFS and the blockchain, what we've managed to facilitate is a means of providing the same communication abilities as you're used to, but without any central authority running the show. So there's no risk of the information that you're giving up or of the things that you're saying being used to create an ad profile about you. There's no way for you to get advertised to either. But really what we've done is we've removed the incentive to find out more information about users than users have consented to. That's why we kind of started this whole journey, and now we're at the stage we can say that you can use this product and we're on your side. We're not providing you a service with an ulterior motive.
So the roadmap for the coming weeks and months, you have the mainnet launch in Q1, and then you have the marketplace in Q2, Centerpay Q3, and then the Q4 you have the replication node. What other upcoming dates that you guys have that are exciting and that you're looking forward to?
So we've actually got a few interesting partnerships coming up that we're quite excited to announce. But first, I should probably announce the token main event is in a couple of weeks. I mean, we should mention that one. That's quite exciting, which we're diving into. But over the next 2 quarters, what we'll be announcing is a range of partnerships and collaborations that we've been working on for quite a while. Some pretty exciting projects, from integrating into a pretty significant hardware provider in Asia, helping facilitate some communication aspects, to working with an artificial intelligence company that's primarily based out of the USA, to some pretty cool transportation initiatives. So you can keep an eye out for those. We'll be staging those announcements as they progress.
In terms of our technical roadmap, the thing that we've all been working towards is to release, obviously, our decentralized application. So you can expect to be able to get your hands on that this side of Christmas. And we're really, really confident and excited that there'll be an app in market now that can facilitate, all the wallet features as you'd expect, as well as kind of replace, if you like, your other messaging applications without having to give up your confidentiality and your privacy.
And so on the point of the wallet, is that ERC20 token wallet, or is it a multi-blockchain support tokens? What are you going to be supporting in terms of tokens in the wallet?
Yeah, so the wallet is a multi-blockchain wallet. Initially, it will be releasing ERC20 compatible and on Plug. So Plug is the blockchain that we're using for Silo's decentralized backend. And yeah, we will be rolling out compatibility with other blockchains throughout next year.
And will the users hold the private keys to those wallets, and is it going to be where any token will be recognized in the wallet if it's added, or will only certain tokens be recognized?
So no, you'll be able to assign any token you like. So any ERC20 token, you'll be able to have visibility over from within the Silo wallet. Just interesting you raise, will the user hold the keys? We've actually partnered with a company called Single Source, who we're working very, very closely with. And it's actually a big piece of making this thing easy puzzle. So Single Source is the party that manages identity for us. So where we are the means of 2 identities connecting, Single Source is the means of ensuring that party is who they say they are. And wrapped up into their service is a very intuitive, very clever means of key recovery. So what we've solved in partnership with them is the risk around dealing in these cryptocurrencies and ongoing access to your funds and identity.
Interesting. Well, yeah, we'll include a link below and in the show notes on Single Source and the Centerpay and Centerpay also. So I want to be you guys have your time, and I want to be, aware of you guys of the fact that you have a limited amount of time. So are there any other topics you'd like to cover before we end the call? And it's been great talking to you guys and hearing about the product, and we're excited for the launch, and we'll include links to where people can go to learn more about the project, and if there's any developers that want to discuss being added to the directory. Are there any other things you guys would like to mention?
No, I think it's been a pretty good coverage at this stage, Angela. And we just want to encourage, any other developers that are working on interesting stuff in the space to reach out. We're part of, we're working very closely with what you could almost call a family of companies now, in a very, very collaborative way, because we're all driving towards the decentralized future, and we firmly acknowledge it's not, decentralized versus decentralized. The mentality in this industry needs to be collaborative. If we're going to come out and we're going to produce an experience and put it in users' hands, that's really going to take on the mainstream and start changing the way things work, because we truly believe it's a better way to do things. And, our door's open. Let's have a chat. If you're working on some cool stuff, let's talk.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you guys back on the show again after the app launches, or if there's any other announcements you guys have in the meantime. It's a pleasure, Dorian and Ben, to speak with you guys and learn about your project and chat a little bit, and always excited to hear more and speak to you guys again in the future.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks, Angela. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty Zero X podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bountyzerox.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty Zero X does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty Zero X podcast or website.